I had known for weeks. The late-night texts, the sudden secrecy, the fading warmth in her eyes. Signs so small they could have been dismissed, if not for the way they piled up, whispering a truth I didn't want to face. My wife, Emily, was cheating on me. At first, I tried to explain it away. 12 years of marriage couldn't just fall apart like that, could it? I blamed work stress, exhaustion, mood swings, anything but infidelity. But deep down I knew something inside me had already accepted what my heart refused to admit. Eventually, I did what I never thought I'd do. I hired a private investigator. When the evidence came back, it hit harder than I braced for. Photos, videos, screenshots of messages dripping with familiarity and intimacy. Her so-called business meetings were just carefully timed escapes. Hotel rendezvous with a man named Ryan, someone she once brushed off as just a harmless co-worker. That night, I sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at the pile of evidence with trembling hands. I didn't cry at first. I just sat there, hollowed out, but when the tears did come, they came hard and fast. Then, strangely, after the flood passed, I felt something else. Calm. Not peace, not forgiveness. Cold calm. Sharp, surgical. I didn't confront her. That would have been too easy, too expected. She would be ready with excuses, rehearse apologies, maybe even tears. I wasn't going to give her the drama she was prepared for. Instead, I made a choice. Quiet, final, and irreversible. The next morning, I met with a lawyer. I laid everything out with precision and restraint. No theatrics, just facts. We drafted the divorce papers, tight, clear, irrefutable. She wouldn't see it coming, and I wanted it that way. If she could blindside me with betrayal, I could return the favor with the end. And then I had an idea. A dinner. One last night together. One she wouldn't realize was her farewell. I made a reservation at her favorite restaurant, the very one where I had proposed to her 10 years ago beneath flickering candlelight and hopeful smiles. I messaged her that morning. Let's go out tonight, just the two of us, like old times. She responded with a heart emoji. The audacity. What she didn't know was that I had already called a restaurant earlier that day. I requested a specific table near the window, one with a view she used to love. I asked the staff to place a small box next to the wine bottle before we sat down. Inside that box, the divorce papers neatly signed. That evening, she walked in wearing the red dress she'd worn for our anniversary 2 years prior. The same one that once made me fall in love with her all over again. She looked radiant, and it made me sick, because I remembered how deeply I had once loved her, and how little of that woman remained. She smiled as she sat down. "This is a nice surprise," she said, her voice light. "You've been distant lately." I smiled back, a practiced curve of the lips. Just wanted to do something special. We ordered a bottle of her favorite wine. I watched her talk, watched her lie with her eyes, her gestures, the gentle tilt of her head. Everything about her felt artificial now, a polished performance. But I waited, and right on cue, Ryan walked in. I watched the moment she noticed him, the way her smile froze mid-sentence, her posture stiffened, her eyes darted to me, wide with panic. What's he doing here? I sipped my wine. I invited him. Her voice trembled. Why would you do that? I nodded to the small box the waiter had just placed on the table. Open it. She hesitated, then reached for it with shaking hands. Slowly, she lifted the lid. Her eyes scanned the contents, and I watched as the color drained from her face. These are divorce papers," she whispered, almost as if saying aloud would make it more real. "Yes," I said calmly, locking eyes with her. "You've been cheating on me with him. It's all there, every detail. The photos, the messages, the hotel receipts. You didn't even try to cover your tracks." Ryan shifted uncomfortably beside the table, as if he'd rather be anywhere else. "Look, man, I didn't know you two were still." "Save it." I cut him off, not even bothering to look at him. "You two deserve each other." Emily's voice cracked. "You're just doing this to humiliate me." I let out a soft, bitter laugh. "No, this isn't about revenge. Emily, this is me letting go. The humiliation? That was all yours. The silence that followed was suffocating. I could feel the weight of curious glances from nearby tables. I didn't care. I stood, buttoned my jacket slowly, and looked at both of them one last time. Enjoy your dinner. The check's on me. Think of it as a parting gift. Then I turned and walked away. I didn't look back as I stepped into the cool night air. It felt different, sharper, cleaner, like I had finally shed something rotting I'd been carrying too long. I drove home, packed a small bag, and checked into a hotel across town. That night, for the first time in months, I slept without waking. No dreams, no dread. The next morning, I woke to a single message from her. Please, can we talk? I didn't reply. What was left to say? Weeks passed. My lawyer handled everything. She tried calling again, a few desperate attempts. I ignored them all. Some betrayals don't deserve closure. Some endings are better left with silence. Eventually, I moved into a new apartment, smaller, quieter, mine. I started going to the gym. I booked a solo trip to Iceland, something I had always wanted to do, something she always called pointless. And little by little, the fog lifted. My life didn't collapse. It restarted. I wasn't broken. I wasn't angry. I wasn't even sad anymore. I was free. Sometimes, when the nights are still, I think back to that dinner, the table, the red dress, the lies unraveling where love had once begun. It was almost poetic, a fitting end. But I don't miss her, not even a little.